Hi all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I want to share a story with you that has a happy ending, but is also a cautionary tale. Police in Gainesville, Georgia, announced the happy news that 12-year-old Maria Gomez Perez, who went missing from the driveway outside of her home on May 29th of 2024, has been found safe. Where was she for almost 2 months? According to police, she was located over 600 miles away from her driveway where she disappeared, in Ohio, with a man in his 30s that she met online. Maria's father told police he took her phone away after he found out she was talking to strangers online. But what he didn't know was that the strangers she was talking to were men looking to prey on his daughter. Maria probably didn't know she was talking to grown men either, and thought she was talking to other kids her age when she told some of them that she wasn't happy at home and she wanted to leave. Then, on May 29th, Maria was last seen on the driveway at her home. Then, she was gone.
Right now, search is underway for a missing 12-year-old girl.
Maria Gomez was last seen at her Gainesville home Wednesday morning. Fox 5's Denise Dillon tells us more tonight about the search for the young girl.
Members of the community have gathered here, just down the street from Maria's house. They'll be knocking on doors and handing out flyers, hoping someone has information about Maria.
We just want to bring her back home safe.
Signs are up at numerous intersections in Hall County with a photo of 12-year-old Maria Gomez. She was last seen at her home on West Side Drive near Atlanta Highway last Wednesday.
I have two daughters. One of them went to school with Maria for the last 3 years. They've been in the same class.
It was Maria's teachers from Lyman Hall Elementary School that first started looking for her. Then other members of the community and the Ambitions Car Club jumped in to help.
We're just searching everywhere. We went across the street where she used to hang out with friends. We've been knocking at houses, talking to people, actually asking if we can search in their house, going behind houses, RVs, mobile homes, in the yards.
They've even checked video from doorbell cameras. Now they plan to expand their search.
We'll be hitting homeless areas, hotels, motels.
The Hall County Sheriff's Office issued a BOLO for Maria. They say they have a team of investigators who are diligently working the case. They've received 3 tips through 911 and say they've followed up on those, but nothing came of them.
It's a roller coaster, it's really emotional.
This group is vowing to keep searching until they find her.
It breaks my heart when I go home and my daughter asks me the same question. Are we gonna find her?
Tonight at 11, the search for a missing 12-year-old girl in Gainesville is growing. This is Maria Gomez Perez on your screen. The Hall County Sheriff's Office says she was last seen at her home on West Side Drive off of Pearl Nicks Parkway around 10 a.m. Wednesday, May 29th.
And it's been a week so far, folks, and ever since her family, they haven't had any communication with her at all. 11 Alive's Angelina Salcedo live in front of the Hall County Sheriff's Office. Angelina, you actually spoke with Maria's father, right?
Yeah, he and I spoke hours ago, and to be honest, this is just a nightmare for him if he could put it into words. His one and only child, his baby, is gone without a trace at just 12 years old, and as everybody tries to find her, his desperation is growing.
Where she might be.
Jesse Perez, the vice president of Ambitions Car Club in Gainesville. They're helping facilitate the search for the 12-year-old. As the days pass, it becomes personal.
I couldn't picture myself being in that position. If it was one of my kids, I don't think that there's anything that would stop me from setting the world on fire trying to find her.
While Hall County Sheriff's deputies continued their search, they say they're extremely concerned about Maria's well-being and need the community to submit tips. As the work to find her grows, the message from Dad and the hundreds looking is the same. They miss her, need to hear from her, and want this 12-year-old home.
For more than a month, the question of what happened to 12-year-old Maria Gomez Perez has really weighed on the Hall County community where she lived. This 12-year-old last seen in the driveway of her home on May 29th. And today in downtown Gainesville, members of her community, they unveiled a new push that they are hoping will bring her home. 11 Alive's Erica Murphy has more on this new effort.
1, 2, 3.
Today, community members looking to bring missing 12-year-old Maria Gomez Perez home unveiled a banner on a busy stretch of Jesse Jewell Parkway in Gainesville, hoping that someone passing by will see it and help solve this case. Christy Vasquez drove all the way from Marietta to show her support.
I have daughters, Latina daughters, that are 11 and 13 years old, so this very well could be us. You know, this really hit home.
For nearly 2 months, Maria's family, her community, and police searched for her after finding no clues as to where she went. Police knew she had been talking to strangers online in other states, so when no trace of her turned up in Georgia, they expanded their search as far away as Texas. And the reward for information leading to locating Maria grew from $1,000 to $50,000.
An alert tonight for a missing 12-year-old girl from Georgia. Investigators are expanding their search for Maria Gomez Perez to more than half a dozen states, including Texas. Maria has been missing for 6 weeks. She was reported missing on May 30th, a day after she was last seen in the driveway of her home in Gainesville, northeast of Atlanta. Her family and community have been making extensive search efforts since then. The FBI, Homeland Security, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation are helping in the search. There is a $50,000 reward for anyone who knows where she is.
I mean, she's a child, and to be gone that long, that's a serious issue.
The Hall County Sheriff's Office, Homeland Security, the FBI, GBI, and Gainesville Police are tracking down every lead. But so far, no sign of Maria.
So many possibilities of where she could be and what could have happened to her.
Then, after nearly 8 weeks of desperately searching, Maria's father got the break in the case he was looking for. A Facebook message to him from Maria. He said he received a message saying that she was okay and she didn't want to return home, so he should stop looking for her. He said he didn't know if the message was really from his daughter or not and wasn't sure he should trust it, but he turned it into the police, who traced the IP address it came from to the state of Ohio. Finally, getting a possible break in the case, police immediately sent undercover officers to Ohio, where they were able to track Maria and the man who drove all the way to Georgia from Ohio to take her to a community pool where they were together. Once they had eyes on Maria, they followed the pair to a store where they were able to get her away from the man and take him into custody.
We have continuing coverage out of Hall County this morning. 12-year-old Maria Gomez Perez, who has been missing for months, is now on her way home to Hall County. Deputies say they found her in Dover, Ohio, with a 34-year-old man. Antonio Agustin Ailon is now in custody. Investigators say he drove from Ohio to Gainesville to get Maria after messaging with her on Facebook. He now has an immigration detainer. And according to the ICE website, detainers are critical to identify and ultimately remove criminal undocumented individuals who are currently in federal, state, or local custody. Her father, Andres, was notified that she would be brought back to Georgia from Dover, Ohio, but would not get to go home right away. He has been talking with our team throughout the nearly 2 months his daughter was missing. As he told our Angelina Salcido, this could not have happened without the community support.
Holding his daughter's photo, Andres waits for his baby girl to come home.
She never left her heart.
12-year-old Maria Gomez Perez disappeared for almost 2 months. over 50,000 flyers and posters across several states later, this community's wish she'd be found came true.
I guess we were lucky, and praying does work.
Norma Hernandez helping search, and the only person Andres trusted during this time. He sent her the message deputies think Maria sent him from Dover, Ohio. He says he didn't know if it was really her.
And he sent me that. It was like 10:30 at night, and I called Mayor Parks and I said, this is what was sent to Andres. I said, it may be another fake profile, but here it is.
That message led deputies to this face 9 hours away from Gainesville. Investigators say 34-year-old Antonio Agustin Ailon picked her up in May after Maria expressed she was unhappy at home. Andres says he's not the only one she was messaging. He says he took her phone away months ago after he noticed.
He did try his best to protect her from being online and making sure that she didn't have applications that would put her in touch with these kind of people. But it doesn't matter what he did. You know, this happened, and we're just happy that it's ending in a good way.
That was our Angelina Salcido reporting. Andres says he still doesn't know how Maria has been affected, but was told that she is okay physically after experts performed a health check.
Father of 12-year-old Maria Gomez Perez says he is grateful that his daughter has been found safe and that these signs are now no longer needed. He's now counting down the moments until they're reunited.
Just hours after Maria Gomez Perez was found safe in Northeast Ohio, her dad removed the missing child signs from his whole county front yard as he gets ready to welcome her home.
Hug her and thank God, because he made it possible.
Andres Gomez Alonso spoke to Fox 5 through an interpreter. He told us the nearly 2-month search for her has been hard.
At this time, thank God, I did trust God.
Whole County investigators say they were able to track down Gomez Perez in Ohio using technology after she reached out to her dad on Facebook last week telling him she was okay but would not come home.
He's just saying that he's very grateful and he has been waiting for this day.
The Whole County Sheriff's Office says they found her with a 34-year-old man identified as Antonio Augustine from Guatemala. Whole County Sheriff Gerald Couch says Gomez Perez had been in contact with multiple people online, including Augustine, saying she was unhappy and wanted to leave home. The sheriff says he drove from Ohio in May to pick her up.
It's so easy these days for kids to get online and communicate with so many different people. And, you know, it's really scary to think that, there are people out there that will prey on children.
The sheriff says Gomez Perez was checked out at the hospital and is in good condition. For weeks, the community has helped search for Gomez Perez and created a $50,000 reward to help bring her home.
We were never giving up. Number one, prayer works, and I think that we are happy. The dad is happy. This is a great outcome. It's a great day to celebrate life.
Police did an amazing job tracking Maria from just a Facebook message. If she hadn't sent it, she would more than likely still be missing, without her family or police knowing if she was still alive or not. Thank God she sent that message to her father. Police held a press conference giving the details of their investigation and how they found Maria, which I'll play for you so you can hear it directly from them. But they also cautioned parents, grandparents, and caregivers to take extra care to find out who your children are communicating with online. Know the apps they're downloading and the chat sites they're on. Even who they're communicating with on Facebook, since apparently there are a number of predators on that site looking to speak with young teens. Hell, there are predators on all sites looking to speak with your children. And they aren't representing themselves as predators, of course. They're posing as teens, just like your child, to gain your child's trust and to get them to give them information they can use to get to them. And you may be the only person in the way of your child ending up in a situation like Maria's. Maria was found safe, but unfortunately, every situation like hers doesn't have a good outcome. Thank God hers did. Thank you so much for listening to Maria's story. Stay safe out there. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more true crime stories. And here is the police press conference with all the details.
Thank you all for being here. Normally when I step up at the podium, sometimes as sheriff I have bad news to report, but that's not the case today. Actually, I come to you with some very great news. Maria Gomez Perez has been safe in Dover, Ohio, and she should be on her way home here to Gainesville with our investigators within the hour. Most of you in this room have been following Maria's case since she was first reported missing in late May, so I won't go through a detailed timeline of every nuance of our investigation. But I will say this, the last 8 weeks have been grueling for those on our investigative team. I want to thank them for their dedication and for putting their hearts and souls into bringing Maria back to our community. Since we are still in the process of interviewing Maria about the specifics of the last 8 weeks, we will not be able to share all details about her disappearance, but we will tell you what we can when we get that information. Maria was found yesterday in the company of a 31-year-old man, Antonio Augustin. He's a Guatemalan native, and he'd been living in northeastern Ohio. We believe Maria had been communicating for a time with Mr. Augustin via Facebook Messenger and some other online apps. Maria had indicated that she was unhappy and she wanted to leave home. We also know that she had been communicating with some other adult males online, telling them the same thing. Now, that being said, let me be very clear on this. Maria is the victim in this case, and remember, she's 12 years old. So our investigation has determined that Mr. Augustin drove from his home in Ohio to Gainesville and picked up Maria on Wednesday, May the 29th. They traveled back to Ohio that same day, and to our knowledge, have been there ever since. The break in the case came last week when Maria contacted her father via Facebook Messenger. She had created a new Facebook page so she could reach out to him to tell him that she was okay and that she was not coming home. And she also asked him to stop looking for her. Mr. Gomez Alonso told our investigators about the message, and members of our Special Investigations Unit obtained the IP address of the Facebook page and were able to find the phone number associated with that account. They were able to track the phone to a residence back in Dover, Ohio. And believing that this information was a credible lead to Maria's location, we sent 4 investigators from our Criminal Investigations Bureau to Dover this week. They were able to track the phone to the Dover City swimming pool, where they made visual contact with Maria and Mr. Augustin. When the two got into a vehicle and traveled to a nearby shopping center parking lot, our agents, along with members of the Tuscarawas County Sheriff's Office, followed them. They recovered Maria at the scene, and Mr. Augustin was arrested. Maria was taken to a local hospital for a wellness check, and as I said a moment ago, she will be coming back home here to Gainesville today. Mr. Augustin is in the custody of the Tuscarawas County Sheriff's Office in Ohio. The Hall County Sheriff's Office will also bring charges against Mr. Augustin after we consult with our local district attorney's office. Again, the safe recovery of Maria is great news. Our investigators and our law enforcement partners, including the GBI and the FBI, are to be commended. Our community has been constant with their support, and I appreciate all that has been done in the last 2 months. Our investigation is ongoing, and our hope is to share additional information in the days to come. I don't have a specific timeline for those additional details, but we'll give them out as soon as we can. I can't let this moment go without imploring our parents, grandparents, and guardians to watch over their children very closely. Technology is a wonderful thing. It helped us locate Maria, but also technology can also be used for evil. It's why Maria was able to leave Gainesville with a stranger and travel 9 hours away from home. So please know what your children are doing and who they're communicating with. They're our most vulnerable and our most valuable citizens, and it's our duty to take care of them. So thank you. Now I'll take a few questions.
Sheriff Francisco with Channel 2.
Yes, ma'am.
I wanted to know, what's this guy's history, Antonio, and how concerning is it that she was able to get in touch with him, and do you think that he's been with other children?
As far as his history, that's still to be determined. This is real fresh and ongoing. I look forward to having those same answers to those questions. And it is so easy these days for kids to get online and communicate with so many different people. And, you know, it's really scary to think that, you know, there are people out there that will prey on children. And you know, she sought to leave home, and this person came and got her.
Does she go back home now when she's done with her wellness check? And what was her reaction? How was she doing? And I know she didn't want to come home, so talk about that.
Well, it's one of those things where we will have to determine with Department of Family Children Services and the court system what's in her best interest. So again, that's something that's still fresh, and we look to have an answer for you on that very soon. But everything will be in her best interest.
Sheriff Adam Murphy, Atlanta News First.
Yes, sir.
What at this time is Mr. Augustin charged with?
Well, of course, you know, he took a child, a 12-year-old child, across state lines. So he can face several felony charges. And again, we'll need to consult with the DA's office here to see what those additional charges will be here in Hall County and in Georgia. Of course, the Ohio authorities would have some other charges too, with interference with custody and so forth. So he could face several felonies in both states. Very serious.
How old is he, Augusto? How old is him?
How old is he? What?
The suspect.
Yes, he is. Yes.
How old is him? How old is him?
He is 31 years old, and he lives in a residence in Dover, Ohio. But other than that, I don't know any more information about him. They were still looking into that earlier this morning.
Sheriff Couch, Nick Watson, Hazel Times. Are there
Yes.
any other adults that are possibly facing charges or under suspicion by law enforcement?
Not to my knowledge, no. Not at this time. You know, as the case goes forward, you know, there could be. You know, I wouldn't rule that out, but at this moment, I don't know of any. No.
Sheriff, Tyler Finger with Fox 5. How lucky are you guys to be able to find her safely? Because in a lot of situations, when 2 months pass by, this circumstance could have been totally different.
It could have been. You know, given the fact, you know, that she was 12 years old. I mean, she's a child. And to, you know, for her to be able to put herself out there, and there's folks that will prey, you know, on children, and that's what happened in this situation. So we're very fortunate that we were able to locate her. I'm going to tell you, our investigators did a tremendous job and stayed on this case night and day to locate her. And that's something we're very fortunate for.
Do you know how long the two had been communicating online?
For quite some time, I think. She had been communicating with some other individuals online and as well. So that's what, you know, trying to go through all those different communications, and that's why we went through several states and trying to locate who she may be with. And this one panned out, and we're very successful. So we're very thankful for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, about two more questions.
Yeah, two more.
Erica
Yes.
Murphy with 11 Alive News.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
hearing from some people that were engaged in helping the search for Maria that they were advised by the GBI to not to drive their own personal cars in coming to the press conference today or to do any searching for her, and that there was some kind of extortion involved with this case. Can you speak to that at all?
Extortion? I'm not familiar with that at all. No.
What
That's news to me, so I hadn't heard that.
What about the telling of people who were helping with the search and engaged with that not to drive their own personal cars because of their safety?
We haven't put out any kind of warning like that about driving their personal cars. I'm unfamiliar with that. Yeah.
Sheriff Couch, I know there's been a lot of people in Gainesville that have obviously put a lot of effort into trying to get the word out about Maria's disappearance. I know that there's been banners and, you know, billboards and all of that stuff, and I know that there were also some people who pitched in with the reward. What is your message just to the community of Gainesville after all the stuff that's been going on over the last couple of months? Simple. Thank you. You know, we live in a very caring community, a very loving community. We've seen that time and time again when we've had tragedy that has happened here. And the way the community responded here was tremendous, and we're very thankful for that. You know, with the posters and the billboards and all the efforts that was put out there, I think it raises awareness that of how we do need to protect our children and look out for them, especially with, you know, internet safety. I can't stress that enough. And also, you know, we are a community that believes in prayer, and I do. And so I think all the prayers and things that people did helped us in this situation. So I'm very grateful. Well, with this, actually, Maria, her communication with her father led to her on location. So she will not be getting the reward, of course, but that was one thing that a lot of folks stepped forward. I had phone call after phone call from business leaders in town
offering their support. And so again, it goes back to, you know, your question about the community. It's there was such an outpouring of love and concern, and that's very heartwarming. You don't see that a lot of parts of the country these days. So very fortunate. I'm sorry?
Do they get their money?
Well, actually, they pledged the money. We never collected it. It was one of those things where, you know, if and when we determined that there was an individual that located her, then we would, you know, call those individuals to write checks, basically, for that.
Sheriff,
So,
just
okay.
one more question, and that is, I'm also hearing that the department did not notify Maria's dad when you found her. You put it out on social media first. Can you speak to that?
That's incorrect.
That's incorrect.
That's incorrect. The lead investigator contacted her father last night, or yesterday rather. So yeah, that's incorrect. Okay. All right.
That's going to be it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.